welcome back to our channel. Welcome to the You're Not Crazy podcast.
But if you are in good company.
Great company. So as you guys can see, we have special guests with us today. Mama. Okay. So we have special guests. Just sit right there. Mama, stop doing that. Just relax. She said,
I got your sister.
My stomach hurt. Y'all can see we have special guests. So here's my mommy. Everybody calls her Mickey. So this is Mickey, Miss Mickey.
And this is my mommy, Inger Lene.
So we brought our moms on to talk about lots of things. But y'all know part of one of our topics is motherhood. So we had mentioned before on one of the podcasts how it would be cool to bring our moms on. So we're just going to have a conversation with our mommies and just talk about just how it was for y'all raising us, different stuff like that. So
not too many details though.
Yeah. Don't get too deep.
Or she's gonna tell all the business.
Yes. Y'all do that, then that's gonna be a little embarrassing. I know I was something serious. By the way, today was my baby shower, which is y'all know normally I be looking busted on here. That is why my face is done. So today was the baby shower. So this was the perfect time to get our moms here because they both are in town at the same time. And I overheard Anna ask my mama at the shower, she said, did you have to get on tan mostly for her mouth or for, what did you say?
Just being busy, like just getting into stuff.
And she said, I heard my mom say, child, popped him in the lips. What did you say, Mom?
I had to pop in your mouth several times.
Yeah, you did.
You had a mouth.
There's
Want to have the last word.
Did I?
You still do.
Uh-huh. Babe, do I have to have the last word?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like I just have to say what I need to say. Like get my and CJ and Carson are both CJ more so. Carson eventually will get over it. CJ has to have the last word.
Mm-hmm. He does.
And it irritates my soul. So I feel like it gets on your nerves too. Do you pop him in the lips?
No.
You would see. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the difference between grandbaby and us? We're still kids.
I would
That's
pop
y'all's
you.
responsibility.
I would pop you and you would keep talking.
I would.
Yeah. Like, do you hear me? You just keep right on talking.
So, but why would you pop me versus popping CJ?
Because she's popping baby.
There's
You'll
a
find out.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you
I
get it
guess
one
not.
day.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Because I'm like, we got it tough. Like, when we go to the grocery store, my mama was like, no, we're not getting that. CJ come back, ice cream. Yeah, we went and got us some ice cream. I remember asking for ice cream. That was like asking to go out.
$4,000.
Yeah, $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need no ice cream.
But they don't either.
That's more your daddy. I don't
No, Mama, you say that. Mama, we went in the store. You bought Carson toys.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, I ain't never known my mom be that type of mama. You got gifts on your birthday. You might have got a gift for Easter, Valentine's Day, Christmas. That was it. We didn't go in the store and just get toys. Now, my daddy took me.
That's a whole different story.
But with Carson and CJ, they'll come back. She's like, yeah, I took them to Family Dollar. They got a couple of something. It wasn't too much. And I've been looking at her like,
Mama stocks up the house as if we're gonna like go on a camping trip for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It
She
be
got that
snacks
stuff for
and
my
all kinds of
kids.
stuff.
Yeah.
She just be like, I just had to go and get a few snacks. I just went to the grocery store and got everything we need. I'm like, we're here for 2 days.
she do
They
the
might
same
need
thing
something.
though. I'm gonna go get some juices and some. I know Carson want his goldfish, and I'm gonna get some almond milk because I know y'all don't do the regular milking. I've been looking at her like, okay, Mom.
Yeah, they actually buy milk at our house because we only have milk in our house for macaroni and cheese at this point. Or sweet potato souffle, make it creamy. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to the store and buy Lactate to make sure there's milk at the house for the kids who don't drink milk.
But they might want some.
Exactly.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case.
And then, but Mama don't get food for me though. she buys for them. She be like, I don't know what you want to cook. Yeah, that's what she said. You can buy your own food, but I got stuff for Carson and them. I know they like to eat when I make the chicken and stuff, so I'm gonna fry them up some chicken wings. And I be looking at her like, now what you want to Cody? You and Cody gonna eat some of this chicken, or y'all gonna get something else? And I'm like, well, what are we, chopped liver? Like,
what is something that your mothers or grandmothers or whomever were in y'all's life, like what lesson or what thing did they do with you or teach you that you feel like was beneficial for you raising a girl?
My mother was very open. She was the kind of mom that if you ask a question, she always felt like if you're old enough to ask the question, I'm gonna give you the correct answer. And I did the same thing with you, even down to birds and the bees. You know, I asked my mom about it, and she laid it down. Of course, I wasn't young. I'm probably about maybe 12, 11 or 12. And I did the same thing with you. She always had the, just because I'm the mom, I'm not always right. If you disagree with me, disagree. As long as you do it respectfully, you know. So she just kept that line of communication open. You could go to her and talk about anything.
It's funny you say that, Mom, because I'm the same way. I think I might have told you this, how my mama was very, I could go to my mama pretty much about anything. And she always told me, if you're old enough to ask, then I give you an answer. And our son is very intuitive, our oldest. At 7 years old, he asked us about the birds and the bees.
Okay.
And we told him. Okay. We told him. And I mean, we told him in a very age-appropriate way. But we explained it to him. And he was like, huh, makes sense. And that was it for him. And that was that. But it makes it, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. But it's funny you say that because I'm the same way with my, so grandma passed it to you and it passed down to me. That's crazy. What about you?
My mom and my grandmom were different. My grandmother was probably very open, very funny, you know, no holds barred. My mom, on the other hand, she was the only child. She never wanted to have her children experience that. So she had 10 children. I said, you know, after 2, you kind of solved that problem. But anyway, you know, the mother 8, bonus. Okay, fine. We're just going to call it that. So my mom was more, because she was the only child, she was raised mostly by her grandmother. So her and her mom had a relationship, but it was a different relationship. So I think for me and my mom, there was 5 girls. 5. I'm not an only child, but kind of treated myself like an only child sometimes. In that, I don't know that I ask a lot. I don't know if I had a lot of questions. I was a reader. So, and then I had older siblings. And I was a reader and a watcher. So I would just kind of watch, and I was just like, okay, yeah, don't go that route. Or she was strict, but she was strict with a purpose. You know, it wasn't just strict to be strict. She had a reason behind it. And we sort of kind of, you know, you just didn't ask a lot of questions. I don't know that she would have avoided answering or anything like that. It was just, you know, we didn't have that type of back and forth. So I think for me, being a girl mom, not really having a lot to pull from in that regard, I just wanted to, you know, be that person. Okay, if she has questions, you know, come to me, talk to me, ask me, you know, and things like that. So that was my attempt. Now, however, I was a very shy mom as well. So I made sure I had a village around me that if there was uncomfortable questions, we just gonna take you to the village, you know. So one of my best friends was a pediatrician. So when it came to those questions that, you know, I was like, oh, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take you to somebody who does. And so it was calling, hey girl, you got any openings today? So,
People come by the house.
yeah. So, you know, she was it was like I had a lot of fill in the gap moms in my village.
Okay.
So anything that I felt like I was uncomfortable with, I had a best friend that had a daughter, or didn't, or I had a best friend that was her strong suit. And then I would say, okay, we're going to come over and hang out or talk, and this is the subject and things like that. So, yeah. So it was like, but I made sure whatever it was got taken care of.
Right.
But as far as,
That makes sense, though.
yeah, so I just kind of had a village around
And
me
the
that,
appropriate people was doing it. Yeah.
right. But I knew she was going to get what she needed. Even if I couldn't do it, then somebody was going to fill in the
But
gap.
I think that kind of correlates with how you were raised, though, too, because you had a village on its own.
Yes.
Like, so it's
A literal village.
Yeah.
No children.
Yeah.
But
Ah!
then, yeah, but we had adults that lived with us too. So I didn't grow up ever just my parents and my siblings. There was always someone who lived in the house with us that may or may not have been related. They may
all
have
continued that tradition.
But yeah, we did. So,
My parents have an assisted living home.
yeah.
There's openings right now. if anyone
No, there's not. We're closed. Shady Pines is no longer Shady Pines. So, we are no longer in business.
my parents. We had some people live
Was
with us.
always reaching out, helping people.
Yeah.
Always have. I didn't think about that, but
Yeah, they was talking about that this week. The number of people that came through our household.
And I don't
in
think-
need.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They just,
and we just like, oh, so and so staying with us. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if we would do it today, being older and wiser. Because some of those people,
Yeah. How do you think that affected you and how you raised your babies?
Well, I don't know. I was laughing because I remember I call her Mama Angie, which I talk to you about her all the time. So she, when it was time to like talk about like periods and stuff like that, she was like, "Your mama in there freaking out. Come on. We just come take a ride with me or whatever. I'm take you to the store." She said, "Your mom is in there freaking out," and I was like, "What is happening?" Okay. So she's the one that like told me about a period, like before it happened, showed me how to use like a pad and stuff like that. She was like, "Girl, your mom couldn't get through this conversation. She was just in there crying. Couldn't even put a pad on a piece of drawers." And I was just like, "What? Okay." She took me to get like my first training bras because she couldn't do it. She all emotional. So she was like, "Come on, let's just go to the store."
We all went to the store together. I was just 2 aisles over, crying.
Oh.
I'm just like, really?
That's where you get the waterworks from, right? She all Anna was crying at the back.
I
Pulled her close. She said, "Oh," like legit tears. I'm like, and then Vanessa said, "You need to get this at the job. You need to go over there." She said, "You crying too much."
Then I'm laughing and crying because I'm crying. I'm like, why am I crying? Anyways, this crazy person. Okay, but I think that was probably the best thing that my mom could have done is like I have so many mamas for different reasons. Like one of them, Mama Kim, like I would go over there and she had, oh my gosh, like the woman has every shade of every nail polish you can ever dream of. Like in a big old thing that would sit on her, like on one of the little tables at their house. And I would walk in and go straight to it. And we would paint our nails and, do all that type of stuff. And do you remember the cream makeup stuff? Like the ones from the Dollar General, like the little, but it was like the cream material. She would let me do her makeup. There's one picture of her face looks like a clown face. But I was focused on it. I was like this. I was like making sure everything. And she was sitting there letting me do it. So I think that was helpful because you got different pieces of things from different people, but it didn't feel like you didn't get those certain needs met.
But I think that was smart on your part, Miss Inger, because you have some moms who can't do it and they don't do it at all. But you were smart enough to say, okay, just because I'm struggling to do this doesn't mean that I can't. Some mamas might be insecure by that. You weren't insecure by, like, it showed the confidence in who you were as a mama to say, this ain't my portion. Right. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's not your portion. Every part of motherhood, we're not all able to do everything. We're not super moms at every aspect. There are some things that's just not our thing. And so to say, but I got a friend that can do this, that I trust, that know, because now, and it does feel like, okay, I had people that were there that I know I can call on to this day if need be.
Mm-hmm. It does come full circle because one of the last times that we were at home and my aunt passed while we were there, actually on the way there, and Mama Kim came and was like, she was like, y'all can bring the kids. And so finally we took them over there. They were with her literally all day. Mm-hmm. And we're fine. And in my mind, I'm like, this was literally me. Like, I used to be at her house all day, like all the time, whenever, and I'll go over there. Now, granted, she did have one of her sons and we were in the same grade. We graduated together and stuff like that. But still, I wasn't playing with him the whole time. I was in there painting my nails and toes, honey. So it really came full circle. And even with Mama Angie, like, I know the first set of pediatricians that we worked with the twins, they were not happy because I would call her first. And then I would tell them what she said they needed to do. And I'd be like, okay, so what do I ask? What do I say? What do I need to ask for? And what's that called again? What's that term? Okay, so I need to say da-da-da-da. So I'm getting be like, well, I was informed that I need to tell y'all that y'all need to do it. And they be looking at me like, okay, who exactly you talking to? I'm like, my other mom at home, she's a pediatrician. And it was like, they almost was like, well, why don't you use her? Because she's 3 hours away.
Trust me, I would.
And if I wouldn't be here if I could. But she would be like, now they're going to start getting aggravated. I said, they already are. It's okay. Continue.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah, tell me what to do. I'm calling you at 6 o'clock in the morning. I ain't calling them because it's going to go to an answering service. And then they're going to call me back at 8. At that point, the situation over now.
I done figured it out now.
Yeah. Or we planning a funeral because they done died. It's been 2 hours.
Because that's what our brain thinks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
The doctor right now.
They are going to die.
And they be sitting there looking at us like,
No. Yeah.
It's so much.
Well, the other question I have is there anything if you look back, this may take a time reflection and that's fine, but thinking about how you raised us, is there anything you wish you had done differently? Anything that you feel like you could have done more of, or just in general, how when you reflect over, because technically you're done raising us, but you're still counseling us and things like that. But what do you feel like? Is there something you feel like you could have done more, less of, anything that you may or may not regret, whatever? Like, you need a moment to reflect. That's okay. We can edit this part.
You shared with me how you were bullied in school. Just recently. And I thought, oh, why did I pick up on that? And I wish I had asked you questions about how your day went at school.
That's about to make me cry. Okay. Go ahead.
Don't, because you already know, like, anybody else's light switch is a light switch for me. So
and I know you was a very compassionate child early on. You didn't meet any strangers. And I just probably wish I had maybe saw the signs that maybe something was going on. Just sat down and just talked to you more, even at an early age. Instead of the typical question, what did you learn today? Ask you more question about, did you meet any new friends today?
Right.
Tell me something that made you sad or upset. I wish I had done more of that. Because some of the things you shared with me now just breaks my heart that you went to. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I? Well, I felt like I wasn't there for you to protect you. But I can't beat myself about it.
Right.
I think I wish I had paid more attention to your emotional state than I did. And I guess it's not like I had a house full of children. I had 2 kids, but I don't know if I was busy going to school, working full time. And you always appeared so happy, and I realize now a lot of that might was just a cover up. Yeah. At a young age, you knew how to cover up. But as a mom, I felt like I should have been able to see through that. Like, something is going on with her.
And I agree. Just wanting to ask more of those probing, open-ended questions, just to give you the space to say whatever you need to say.
Yeah,
I think I would agree. That was what I'm looking back, it was like, oh, I could have done better at that, or I should have done better at that. And I always try to make sure that I was like, you only had 2 children, but I always tried to make sure that the children knew how to trust their instincts And because for me, that was, I didn't grow up being taught to trust your instincts. I grew up being taught to be nice to people. You know, be nice, be cordial. You know, don't be disrespectful and things like that. And oftentimes I felt like I was taught out of trusting my own instincts about situations and people. And I never wanted my children to be that way or to feel like they couldn't trust. And for me, it was that's your mechanism to, you know, your fight or flight, you know, and I didn't want them to lose that. So, I guess I could have instilled it a little bit more, or with that, you know, also instill more confidence. I don't know if I could have dealt with Anna more confident than she was at that age. I mean, she was a princess to the 10th power, and ask her, she'll tell you at an early age, you know, she loved having an older brother that she could run. So yeah, she'd be sitting on her bed playing with her dolls, and he is sweating, cleaning her room. After he's cleaned his room. I'm like, why are you cleaning her room? She's just a baby. This chick is sitting on the bed playing with her dolls. And he's sweating. I was like, boy, go to your room. Anna, to your room. Right. It's just 3 years.
And then ours is 5 between me and my brother.
Right.
My brother can't stand
you know. And I'm like, Anna, why? And she said, he offered. Say no.
Sure, clean up my room. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just laughing. She was very confident, but I always wanted to make sure I was paying attention because I knew I masked so many things growing up. And so for me, it was, do they have the out? Do they know that, you know, if they don't feel comfortable, if they don't feel safe, they know where to go, how to go. They know that there's people around. So I always wanted to make sure anything and everything they were a part of, there were people there that would give them an out, even if it was at school, you know, at church, at home, you know. And I didn't want them to ever feel like, if everything in me says to move away from this situation, to be away from this person, I never wanted them to doubt that. Then, you know, so even as babies, you know, if there was somebody they didn't like, we're going the other way. I might pass them off to somebody or whatever, you know, to protect them, because I never wanted them to not trust their instincts, you know, because I said I might need to be around all the time.
That's right.
And I need for them, and I also need for them to know, you know, where can we go? This is a conversation we were having earlier about her making sure she knew the people on her street. And I was like, what if something happens to one of the children and they need to go for help? Do they know their neighbors? Do they know which one to go to? Do they know which one they can trust? But we lived in a village. So she knew she could go to any house on, you know, because we would have the people over for dinner, and, you know, we had block parties and things like that. Now, I grew up the only Black in our neighborhood growing up. So none of my neighbors looked like us. We didn't think anything of it, you know, and our first home, it was almost the same way. We had one neighbor of color, which happened to be a cousin, but that was it on the whole street. There was like 2 streets that kind of connected each other, and that was it. But they knew everybody on that street. And the neighbor right across the street, really, really fun people. But her mother, when she would come to visit, my children called her grandmama. And too, they would go, oh, grandma's here. They'd go across the street and hang out with them and, you know, get to know her. But it was important. I was like, what if I pass out in the house? Do they know where to go? Do they know to run for help? Do they know? I mean, you know, so for me, it was just, that's important to have a village, to have that safety net around them. And so I think if I was going to do anything differently, it would be, we spent a good bit of time together, but I think I would probably travel more. We traveled, but I think I would have done more solo travel. You know, just the 2 of us, just to, you know, you know, and we did travel a good bit. And if you saw one, you normally saw the other. It was very seldom that we were not together, which people thought that was an issue. that I was, maybe crowding her or not allowing her to, you should let her hang out with other people. She used to hang out with her friends. And I was like, she was at home because she chose to be at home, not because, she was like, well, I don't want to go there. She said, they're not going to be doing things that I want to do, or it's going to be boring. So I'll just stay here.
They
so
outside, they eat weird stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be at home or at my grandma's house.
Exactly.
All the things that I eat are there.
That's funny.
That's why I'm picking now. Anyway.
That's funny though. I think hearing you say that, Mom, I'm like, no, I didn't necessarily get asked about my day all the time, but I felt like if I needed to talk about it, I could. Like, I think I never felt like I couldn't tell my mom anything. Right. I didn't know that talking about my day could have alerted her. Like, I don't, as a child, you don't think about, but talking about my day more probably could have alerted her about stuff, because whenever I did come to my mom about stuff that bothered me, she was on it. She was on it. I've gone to my mom about some very deep stuff as a child, and she addressed it. So I trusted her in that way, but I guess being bullied was such an everyday thing for me. Like, I was being bullied every day by the same group of kids. And then I got bullied in the neighborhood. It happened everywhere I was, at church, everywhere. I was getting bullied. It almost felt like this is supposed to happen. So I was just like, this is just how people act, and I'll just get over it, And so for me, I think, so my mom was in school. She was working. So for me, thinking about her from as a mother now, I feel like you didn't know to ask. There's a more aware culture in motherhood now that wasn't then. And we have social media to thank for that, right? This is, hey, check on your kids, ask them these questions. Because naturally, you're thinking, okay, I'm feeding them, I'm making sure they have what they need, I'm coming to their defense when I see I need to. But you don't naturally go, let me sit down and have this. So, but this era is just so different now. It's everybody's super hyper focused and hyper aware. So I do ask my boys, how were you feeling today? What happened? But even in that, there are days where I forget to ask, or I'm noticing one is moody and I'm like, what's going on with you? What's going on? So then one thing my mama taught me, and I think that's probably why I didn't talk as much, she taught me to journal. Write it down. She taught me that. Literally, she taught me by example, and she would talk to me about writing. Won't you write? And my mama was my mama had sticky notes all over the house. She wrote down everything. So it I saw it by example too. I think that kind of helped me too, because I did write a lot. I have journals. You just went through a bit of different stuff where I was writing. I would just write my thoughts down, and that helped me a lot too. But I'm also a verbal processor. I verbal process a lot with friends, and that's where I made the mistake, because everybody wasn't my friend, right? And everybody didn't have my intent, like my best intention. So I would verbally process with people, and then my business would be spread around, or it would go back to somebody that I was talking about them or whatever. And that, as an adult, has made me shut down, and I don't tell nobody nothing. People be talking, I'm like, in my head, I got all these thoughts, and I'm like, nope, because people took advantage of the fact that it was my therapist who told me. She's like, Tamara, she said, you have to verbal process. That's how you get through stuff, is by talking about it. When I'm not able to talk, I shut down, because literally talking is how I release it. Right. Some people, they don't want to talk about it. I've got to talk about it. Yeah, I literally have to, in order to process it. Some people can process mentally. I can't. There's too much going on. It's too much fog up there. Too much going on. I got to be able to talk it out. And at this point, between Cody and Anna, my mama, and like maybe two other people that I'll get to or talk to. Other than that, lips are sealed. I don't say much. So I just said that, Mom, like I see why you say that, but I also feel like I could talk to you. Like, my mama had some very tough conversations with me. Like, I remember specific conversations, and I asked her questions, and she was very straightforward. Like, yep, this, and this. My mama was also the one to tell me, I don't like that friend. That ain't good for you. Or a real friend wouldn't do that. You know, I had one particular friendship. My mama couldn't stand it. I talked about it in the episode y'all just watched. She couldn't stand it, but she also stepped back and let me see for myself too. Now certain stuff you ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. Some stuff she just let me. She let me, and eventually I saw for myself, and I was gone.
Right. You had a lot more friends than I did at every age. I've had only just 1 or 2 friends.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was okay with it. To this day, I have a few, and I'm okay.
And I turned into you. Remember I told her, I said, Mama, because she said, y'all ain't got no company? She said, I'm not used to this. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I said, ain't it good? Ain't it right? I said, I'm turning into you. She said, yeah, you are.
It's okay to have friends and have people over, but I guess my mom was like that. You know, she was a military mom, and I was too, just for a little bit. And my mom thinking, I don't have to have all these friends, you know, because all of them are really not her friends. And it was hard to see you pour your heart out and to be mistreated.
Right. And
I didn't have to deal with that. I had a couple, and if you did me wrong, I just cut you loose, and I was fine. I ain't ever see you again. I didn't need approval.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I was the same way. I don't think I knew a lot of people. But when I say my friend circle was always small. On the outside looking in, you would say, oh my gosh, she has so many friends. I have a lot of people that I know, but my friend circle it's a small group of people, and they've always been there for me. And when Anna said my sister passed recently, suddenly, you know, it was my friend girls that were there. I mean, because I was I came into town, had to catch a flight, you know, and fly right back out to handle something very life-changing. But when my friends, my girls knew what was going on, all of them were like, okay, what you need me to do? What needs to get done? Do I need to go to your house and clean? I mean, what do you need? Right. You know, do I need to send you money? Do you have what you need? You know, do I need to buy you a ticket? I mean, all of them. I mean, they just stepped in and said, you know, what is it? You know, how many meals do we need to have at your house? I mean, and they never batted an eye, you know, and then just making sure, are you okay? It was those that were that small group that I knew, okay, these are my true friends right here. But, you know, you can count them on 2 hands. And that's it. And, you know, I know a lot of people, but when I say when we call our sister circle, it's a small group, but we're there for each other. Like really, and some of them have children, some of them don't. And some of our children are not even close in age, you know, but we have really supported each other through some really serious situations. Even we all have, the ones of us who do have children all have daughters, you know, so just to make it, we all have daughters. So we're always, except for one, you know, so we were always like, but even though we were friends, we didn't require that our daughters be friends. So our daughters got to pick and choose if they wanted to be friends with the other's daughter. And some of our daughters were friends, but we wouldn't even say they were best friends, but they were friends. And, but that was never a game changer for us as the sisters. But we were just like, because we're like, we want them to make their own decisions or whatever. And, you know, we didn't want to be forced to be friends and stuff like that. But we grew up in an era where sometimes you didn't have the choice of who your friend was. If your mama said so-and-so is coming over, you be nice to them. Right.
Take them to the room. And
exactly. You know, so.
You hate their guts. You got to take them there and entertain
Exactly. And entertain them and don't say that. Right. So, you know, I didn't want my children to, you know, be the same. You know, you get to pick your friends, because I didn't always get to pick mine as a child. You know, and it was only when I got old enough that I could really say, okay, no, we're not friends. We've never been friends. I really don't like you. So, you know, but I had to be out of my mama's house to do that. But
that's so true. That's true. Did you have anything you want to add?
I'm just laughing because, like, on the inside, because I realize that I really don't I think when, like, most of their daughters, I see them almost like family.
Mhm.
Like, and not, sometimes you have people who you just, used to have to deal with them, so you just call them family. But these people are people that I genuinely feel like I don't talk to them every day. I wouldn't say that I'm their best friend, and they probably wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't say that they're mine, and they probably wouldn't say I'm theirs, right? But it's like a love there that it's like, if there's anything going on, like, I'm calling to check on you, or I'm texting you, like, they're there. They were at my wedding, like, they were, you know what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't like a pity thing, like, oh, I gotta have, it was like, no, like, that's like someone who's really close to me, that I care about, and that have been there in hard moments and good moments. And so it feels more like family than it does
friendship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Almost like they're my cousins, but the cousins that you don't mind coming over.
Right. Yeah, those. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And which was important for you when you mentioned your wedding.
yeah.
Because Anna's wedding happened at a very traumatic time. Her first grandmother passed when she was a freshman in college.
Wow.
Mhm.
Then my mom passed, a week before her wedding, literally. So that friend circle, they jumped into high gear. And even the young friends that she had, they were all calling, okay, Miss Inga, what do we need to do? And some of them were in the wedding, and they were like, okay, we got her, And I remember, my mom's funeral was on Thursday.
Yeah.
And Anna was getting married on that Sunday, right? So I called one of my best friends, and her daughter and Anna are friends. So I called her, and I called my friend's daughter, and I said, hey, I'm going to go pick up Anna.
She lived in Atlanta.
Yeah, she lives in Atlanta. And I said, I'm going to go pick up Anna, and she needs a moment. This is a lot. And she needs a moment before her wedding, and I'm going to get a hotel room, and nobody is to be there but you, because she needs a moment. And so I came down to Columbus.
Yeah, my cousin. Yes.
With one of my nieces.
Yeah.
And
because I had just gotten back that same day or something.
You did?
Weird. It was weird.
Yeah. So my mom was passed on a Thursday. Anna left that Thursday. So this was because everything she needed was here in Columbus. So she left that Thursday after the funeral, coming home. And I didn't tell her I was coming. I just called her Friday morning and said, get your stuff together. I'll be down there to pick you up. And she's like, what? I said, get your stuff together. I'm coming to pick you up. And she was like, Mom. And I said, you need a moment. And so I called my friend, and I said, okay, what do you want in your room? So I called, she told me what she wanted. I called my friend's daughter, and I said, okay, I need you to pick up these things and have them in the room. I'm going to go pay for the room, and I just need you to set everything up and be there. And she did. And she stayed with Anna, and I said, I take her phone, we know where she is. We know your number. Norman knows how to reach us.
I finally wrote my vows that
See?
so terrible.
See? But it was that having that friend group that and she stayed with Anna and just took care of her. And I said, whatever she needs, if she needs to cry, scream, whatever, but I don't want her bothered at all, because her and my mom she was really close to both of her grandmothers, very, very close. And I was like, she's got to process this because she's getting married in a couple of days, but it was having those people that you could call and know that they're going to take care of your baby when she's really at one of her lowest moments. And you don't doubt that they're going to be there for her and take care of her. And I was like, so I love having those types of family, because we call everybody family.
All right, y'all.
All right.
We love y'all dearly. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening to our special guest.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Our mommy. Y'all remember to let us know. We've been getting some comments letting us know topics you want to talk about.
Yes.
Thank y'all for doing that, because we are paying attention. We plan on doing episodes for that.
Yes.
So y'all just let us know what y'all want to hear us talk about. Comment below. Can you relate to this conversation with our moms? If you're a mother of young adults right now, can you relate to things our mother said? If you are young mothers like us, can you relate to some of the things that were said tonight? Not tonight, like they know what time it is. This evening on the podcast. But yeah, comment below and make sure you subscribe. Don't just watch the channel.
Yes.
Be a part of the channel. Be a part of
Like
the family.
and subscribe.
And subscribe.
And
And hit the notification bell. There you go.
Notification bell.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, guys. We love you.
Bye,
We'll
guys.
see you in the next episode. Bye.